Hello, welcome back to the Spider's Web, and we're going to be finishing off young man here, the Scout Sniper Sergeant. So what do we need to do first? Well, first off we'll be highlighting his cloak. And for that we're using Goblin Green, and that's what we'll do. Just make it easier for us, we'll get some Goblin Green on the palette, some water, and then we can make a start. And yes, I did say I was going to do this camouflage colour, but I want the highlights on first, so hopefully the camouflage colours that I use will be, well, the highlights will show through the camouflage colours and make it look as though they're highlighted, if you get me drift. And I've decided while I'm going to do that, I might as well not bother being fussy about this and just dry brush over the edge areas. I'm also going to touch more water on the brush, and we're going to carry on and highlight the other parts. To be more conscious about where we're putting the paint for these now. So what we can do now is we can have a do at his skin and highlight that. So we're going to carry on with the Ungor flesh, which is what we used for the base coat, and this is going to be the highlight colour, because we've had that thingy colour, the Druichi Violet, which has dulled it down and put what looks like a bit of a shadow effect to it. So we can actually get away with just using, I think, Ungor flesh rather than using any other. Oh dear, I've messed it up slightly. I've messed it up greatly. Never mind, right, that's it. I'll just go over his eyes once more, and then go over it once again with a Druichi Violet and leave it at that. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Unfortunately, this was one of the times it didn't work. Okay, so let's get the Ujit done. the Camouflage, and for this we're going to be using Castellan Green, Elysian Green, and I'm going to put a spot as well of Dryad Bark with it. Now it's not dry brushing, it's stippling what we're doing in this. So what we want to do is to get a small amount of brush on the paint, or even a small amount of paint on the brush, and dab. That's it, that's all we're doing. And then once we've gone over with this, we can go over again with the other colours. Like so. I'm not even going to wash the brush out that bit in between, it's just going to be dab, 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 and that's all we need to do for the what I'm looking for. Camouflage. And as I said, a bit of Dryad Bark. I'm just going to wipe the brush and a bit of this paint as well. As I say, it's nothing special, but nothing, it's not nothing special, it's nothing really technical, but it gives that spot on effect, do you not think? Yeah, let's get the Druichi Violet back on his face again. It should be done by now. It should be dry by now. I'm just going to do some over his eyes, nowhere else. There we have it. Druichi Violets and the Camouflage cape. Next, what we need to do is the extreme highlights for the green armour, and for that we're going to be using Scorpion Green, or whatever colour it may be called now, and we get paint on the brush and just quite simply just dab some lighter areas of green over where the Goblin Green went. Don't be tempted to cover all the Goblin Green, because you'll just ruin the effect if you do that. Okay, there he is. Next, I also mentioned that The shoulder pad is the wrong colour, so I'm going to sort that out now. And I'm going to be using, first off, Administratum Grey. And that is just to give it a pale colour to apply the white onto later. Because white is one of those really weird colours that doesn't like to cover very easily and doesn't look fantastic if you just paint it over a darker colour. So you need to build up for your white. And it shouldn't really make too much of a difference on this because it's not going over anything that's going to need highlighting, but this is the way I like doing my whites. So I'll use Administratum Grey, then I'll go over with Screaming Skull, and then I'll go over again with white. We'll get the shining gold. We'll give it a stir. And we'll just dry brush over the area that we did with tin bits. There we are. Also the skulls on the gloves want to do with gold, and the skull on the gun one skull, and there's the other. There you are. And I think that is another. I may be wrong, but I'm going to go over it anyway. It isn't, it's just like a buckle, something along those lines. Okay, let's go next to the issue of highlighting the black. When you've seen stuff that I've done before for highlighting black, it's just Abaddon black. We get a little blot of. You can either use Screaming Skull or Administratum Grey. I'm going to use Administratum Grey for this first pass. Now we're just using it to make it slightly paler grey, not too much paler. And with that I'll just go over the areas that are black using like a dry brush technique. It isn't dry brushing, but it's a similar type of technique I'm using. I've got too much paint on the brush for it to be dry brush, but I just want it going over the creases and nowhere else, because the next time I make a pass over is going to be with, again, a lighter shade of grey, which is going to be about now. Here we are. And this time I'm going to use a finer brush, and I'm going to add a touch of water to it. I decided I didn't like the way that was looking, so I'm doing it slightly different. So here we have bits on the clothing that need doing. Cape, most of that doesn't need doing because it's not going to be in any form of brightness, it's all inside, but I'm going to do a little on the outside edges just to make it look as though there is some light hitting there. The same with the shirt. I'm not going to go too wild about that because again, with this figure it's in shadow. And next is going to be his boots, and I'm going to use again the dryad bark that I used to do his boots, and I'm going to use Old Faithful Screaming Skull. For the highlight. That was what I was looking for. My brain just keeps going out to lunch at the moment. I can be part way through saying something and that's it, end of story. Good night, Vienna. What are you doing, laddie? You're wrecking everything again. And so we're just doing where the raised areas are. And then we're going to add some more of the Screaming Skull to ultra highlight it, or extreme highlight it rather. There we are. And just a spot of water just to make the paint move that a little better. There we are. And just that little bit more on the pouch here and on the upper area there. And I've forgotten to do the belt, which is going to have that into it. That's that sorted. Next, I'm going to come along with the Screaming Skull again, and go over the shoulder pad. Okay, so we need this quite smooth, and it's going on anything but smooth. Never mind. And now it's just touching up with details. So we want blood red, and with our fine brush we're going to be going over the cable here. We're going to be doing his targeter, that one and that one, and I think we'll do there and there as well. I don't think there's anywhere else that needs it. I'll do just a touch on this bit of red on the cable on this side. And then again with the Goblin Green we're going to do the other cable. Oops. Almost done except for the white shoulder pad. There we are. But there's the Scout virtually done. The fine brush and the is it iron breaker? Yep. Just on the little rivets or screw heads or bolts or whatever they may be on the gun. We want a fine point on this. Needs covering. There we are. I'm just going to go over just the top edge of these to give it that just touch of a highlight. Okay, so until the next time, take care, God bless, and bye for now.